Morning, everyone. Thank you so much for attending the webinar this morning, all about attracting and retaining clients and the impact of a strong brand. I'm going to be checking comments as we go, so if you've got anything that you want to drop in the chat, feel free, and I'll try and address it as we go through, or I'll do it at the end. First time doing one of these, so please bear with me, but looking forward to having a chat with you all. So, first things we're going to go through today is we're looking at kind of the definition and importance of branding, how to attract clients through branding, retaining the clients, looking at some successful brand strategies and stories that people have done, and then brand strategies for attraction and retention. So what's the importance and the definition of branding? So branding encompasses the process of creating a distinct identity. It's all about the image and the reputation of your business or product. So a lot of people tend to get really hung up on the fact that it's about a logo or it's a color palette. But as we all know, it's not just that. It's about kind of the whole image, even the reputation, the service, the product you're delivering, the services you're delivering. It's really vital because it can help your business stand out in the competitive marketplace, which in current times, we know it's getting really competitive and we're having to compete lots and more for our customers' attention, our customers' money. So it's really good to, make sure we've got that in place. It helps us also build trust amongst our consumers, and it can then foster that lasting connection as well. And that's really important. We really want to generate that brand loyalty moving forward. It also goes beyond the visual elements and extends into the emotional experiences also associated with your brand. So like I said, it's not just that kind of visual aspect. It's how does someone think and feel about your brand, when someone mentions your company. How do they feel about it? What's that kind of instant subconscious connection that they have? So a strong brand can attract clients by a few different ways. I'm just going to go through them now. So you can communicate your unique value proposition, differentiating you from your competitors. It can evoke emotion and create a connection with your target audience. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. Target audience is key. And if I've ever spoken to anyone before on this, everyone that knows me knows I bang on a lot about target audience. It's something that we are really passionate about at SGLWD. It helps you establish trust and credibility. And then building brand awareness through consistent messaging and visibility. And consistency, again, is really key and something that it is vital, really, to building that strong brand and attracting and retaining the clients. So how does a strong brand retain clients? Well, like we said, it builds the trust and loyalty. We need to make sure that the trust is there and the loyalty is there for clients. I'm sure everyone's heard the saying, we buy from people we know, like, and trust. And that's the same with a brand, service or product. So we really need to make sure that trust is there. And again, that's not just through visuals, it's through the delivery and every kind of touch point. Providing a sense of identity and belonging. So we want to really create somewhere that people feel that is for them, and this is when it comes into that target audience. So if we really know that audience, we can really tap into what they want, what they need, and then tailor all our kind of messaging, our sales messaging to that, to kind of give them that they feel that this is their place, that they belong. Fostering that emotional connection and resonating with the client's values. And continuously reinforcing the value and benefits of your product or service. This is really important again. So, by knowing the customer's pain points, knowing what their issues are, what their business goals, commercial goals are, we can really reinforce that and bring that back to the product or service. And again, delivering consistent and exceptional customer experiences. So I can't do a talk on brand without talking about Apple. It's kind of obviously up there as one of the greatest brands that's out there. They do an amazing job. So they've always kind of focused on the emotion, and they've always put the user at the heart of everything that they do, and that's really important. Without knowing who you are talking to, how do we talk to them? So an example I always give to our clients, or when we're doing brand workshops, is the way I would tailor a message maybe and deliver it to my 5-year-old daughter would be very different to how I deliver and tailor a message to my grandfather. And it's the same in business and in branding. So if you're not really, really clear on who that audience is and how can we put them at the heart of your brand. So we really need to nail that. And that's something that Apple has, done a really amazing job of building that community, building a community of dedicated fans, as it says there, in kind of religious fashion, up at 3 a.m, queuing for a new product. So it's like building that cult-like status almost, and putting the user at the heart of everything that they do and how they operate. So for them, it's all about lifestyle, imagination, passion, hopes and dreams, and delivering that through the technology. And so again, it's about for you how you develop your brand personality and then relating back to the audience. So if we know what the audience, who they are, and then we can develop on what they need, what their pain points are, and we can develop our values what we do and what we deliver and bring them two together. So it's all about bringing that kind of personality of your brand and the audience together, and they do an exceptional job of that. And then obviously another super iconic brand is Coca-Cola. Theirs is associated with happiness, nostalgia, and human connection. We're finding more and more human connection is something we're exploring a lot with brand. It sounds kind of an obvious thing to discuss. But in this today's increasingly digital world, people are working from home. How do we bring that kind of that real human connection back and do that? So it's not always about focusing on the product. It can be emphasizing the feeling that you get from that product or service. So like I say, it's not focusing on maybe like with Apple and iPod, it wasn't focusing on, the technical capabilities of a product. It was more about what it was delivering. 1,000 songs in your pocket. What did that mean? What did that enable you to do? So when you're thinking of your own brand, or your own product or service, it's flipping that conversation. So what do you what do you give to them? What do you deliver to them? The actual feeling of something. What do you solve for them? Thinking of it in that sort of way, and then bringing the pain points into that is going to deliver a lot more clearer sales messaging that's going to resonate, to help you attract the audience, but then also to retain those clients as well through, them getting that we get you, we understand you. Obviously, how they've done it is through the years, they've embedded themselves as a cultural icon. So it's thinking of things of placements, how they've done it. Things have obviously changed massively over the years and how this works. With the input now of all the kind of digital platforms and things like that. So it's just really important to see how you can embed yourselves, again, bring it back to the audience. Where are they living? What are they sat on every night? Where are they going? Where are they absorbing their information? Just really getting to the heart of who they are will really help you to figure out where you need to be. So there's a few different, obviously, strategies for the attraction and retention and how you can do it. So one of the first things is obviously looking at defining your brand identity. How can you clearly articulate your brand values, mission, and your unique selling proposition? Again, bringing it back to those pain points of the audience, and then align your messaging and visuals to consistently communicate this identity. Consistency is key. And again, in today's world where we're on multiple touch points, multiple social platforms, you've got a web presence, you might have a physical presence, there might be a product that you're posting out. That consistency needs to be key. Every touch point needs to be consistent. It needs to be delivered in a consistent manner. Everyone needs to be speaking in a consistent way. So it's just making sure that if you think of all the touch points in which a customer or a potential client interacts with yourself, and just making sure that consistency is running throughout. Knowing your target audience, like I said before, this is really, really key. And there's a few different ways that you can go about getting to the heart of who they are and, and where they are. One of the key things that we always look at is conducting market research. really understanding, who they are, what they need, what their pain points are. It's not just a case of mapping out the demographics, but, really those pain points of who they are, what their issues are. Are they overworked? Are they stressed? Do you deliver a service that can kind of solve their problems for them and push it that way? And then tailoring those branding strategies to resonate with their kind of aspirations and motivations. So what really motivates them? What's going to really connect with them? Delivering exceptional experiences, so consistently provide high quality products, services, and customer support. We can tend to sometimes forget, and it's all about the chase and the win. So, it's bringing them new clients on, winning those new clients, getting that, that bit of a high when they come in, but it's then actually also delivering for those clients that continued customer support. Is there any ways that we can, be exceptional in that? Can we do something different? Can we offer something that other people aren't offering in a saturated or a crowded marketplace? So it's creating the memorable and positive interactions at every touch point. So that should be everything from answering a telephone to receiving something in the post to going on a website. It is really thinking of it in a full holistic view. Building those emotional connections, the more we can build on the emotional connections is really important. And people tend to think that this is something that's more in the B2C arena, but it's really not. It's really important in the B2B space as well, especially if you're, delivering a service that could be legal, finance. People tend to ask their friends, their family, their colleagues, who have they used? And if they've had that kind of emotional connection with you and built up that rapport, then they're going to refer you on. You're going to get that social proof where, people are, passing your name on. So it's really important that you can build those connections, articulate your vision, your values and your mission, and align your messaging and visuals to consistently communicate this. How you can be consistent as well throughout the brand. So looking at all your touch points, you can look at doing audits of your current brand. Again, like I said, it's not just looking at your website or what you're putting out on social, but the little things like, how are all the banners on everyone? If you've got multiple employees, has everyone got the same banner on the LinkedIn? Has everyone got the same email footer? Have you got someone rogue in sales that's maybe starting to put their own templates and presentation decks together? And just making sure that that isn't happening and that there is that consistency across the board. So obviously attracting and retaining the clients through branding involves building a strong and positive brand image. And so we're just going to go through some of the tactics that we deliver for our clients that can help implement it in your business, some kind of quick wins. So one of the first ones is obviously develop a strong brand identity. More and more people are becoming extremely brand aware, design savvy with the rise of applications such as Canva. A lot of people are having a go doing it themselves. So people are a lot more aware now of, what is perceived as good design. So it's making sure that you've got a distinctive logo, color scheme, visual elements that represents your business values and personality. And what we mean by visual elements is it's not just about a term that we refer to it is in the studio is like logo slapping. So we see a lot where brand companies think they have a brand because they have a logo, and that logo just kind of gets put on everything. It just gets repeated everywhere, and that can become quite tiresome quite quickly. It's not as engaging for a customer. It's also really hard for the person internally, either the marketing team or the designer internally, to keep on thinking of fresh and new ways to create content, put things out there. So if you've got a really strong kit of visual elements that you can bring to life, that might be pattern, it might be illustration, it might be photography, it might be a mixture of those things coming together. It gives you a kit of parts that you can then start to create some really engaging looking marketing collateral, social collateral that just doesn't start to look samey so that people become disengaged. And then making that consistent across all the marketing materials is essential for your brand recognition. So the ideal place to get to is that, you know, someone's scrolling on their Instagram feed and they can instantly recognize that it's your brand without necessarily even seeing a logo. So that might be an ownable color. It might be an ownable tone of voice. For example, if we think of Innocent Smoothie, you know, they have a very ownable, or Ben & Jerry's, a very ownable tone of voice. So there's different ways that you can do it. But thinking of what is going to be kind of your key piece that's going to really stand out and get that brand recognition for you. Crafting a compelling brand story is really important, and more people are, you know, really interested in what the story behind the business. You know, what are your mission and values? You know, we're seeing the rise in B Corp companies. People are really intrigued and want to buy into companies that they believe in and that aligns their values and align with the business values. You know, they want to feel like they're buying into something that they can believe in. Also bringing it back to the problem that you solve or that you deliver. And it's just making it relatable and emotionally engaging to connect with that audience. So as we can see, all of these points constantly come back to the audience and making sure that we know who they are and that we're talking to them at all times. Know your target audience. I feel like I'm on my soapbox today about this, but it is really understanding the pain points, the needs and preferences, tailoring their messages to address their specific concerns and desires. If this is something that you struggle with, you know, we speak to some people and they say, well, we're for everyone. And I think sometimes by being for everyone, you end up being for no one. So, you know, if you're an established company, look through your CRM system, you know, who are your best clients or customers, who buys into you the most, and start to build up a picture. The more data you can get around this and the more kind of scientific, I suppose is the word that you can go with it, with actual data and facts, rather than kind of just picking and think, oh, I think it's this or I think it's that. So it's really important to build that picture up. And then everything you do moving forward should be all about that person. That being said, it might not be that you only have one audience. You know, you could have multiple levels of audiences, and then your brand marketing collateral can be tailored towards that. So on the different levels, you know, you might have a part of your business that is very much B2C, you might have a B2B offering, you might have a trade offering, and then you can look at how, you know, those audiences are kind of broken down and how the messages can be slightly tailored. So again, when they're receiving that, it's very much for them and what they need and what their issues are and how you're solving that for them and ultimately making their lives easier. Highlight your USP. So you really need to communicate what sets your business apart from your competitors. And again, this doesn't have to be about kind of on the technical aspects of a product. So it's not that, you know, if you do have a product, it's not about that yours has got, you know, what the tech properties are of it. It can be that you are a B Corp registered company, or that you're employee owned, or you believe in giving a profit share to charity, or, you know, what is kind of different about you and your business and your brand that you want to shout from the rooftops that you know is going to then attract your customer. And again, you can do this in one or two ways: that you can already have the USP, or if we're putting the target audience at the heart of everything, once we know who they are, we can kind of go, right, well, we know that they're really going to, you know, they really believe in this, so we're going to believe in this also. So we attract the right tribe and they come to us. Developing that consistent brand voice is crucial as well. The amount of times that we do brand audits for clients, and you know, the way the website copy is very different to how they are speaking, say, on LinkedIn, to how they are speaking on social media posts. And obviously in different places, you can change that style of you know, slightly change that style. So some bits can be a little bit more playful, but you know, some bits can be a bit more serious, but it always needs to be very much grounded in a consistent tone of voice, you know, and what it is that you always want to get across and how you're saying that. again, that will help generate that loyalty and trust that people go, okay, we know this is from this company. It's not like, oh, that sounds different. Is that even them? You know, you want to make sure that there's no part of the journey for them that might put them off or might think, oh, I'm not sure about this. Create valuable content. So this might seem a pretty obvious one, but it's really about kind of, again, bringing that valuable content to the audience. So sharing your expertise, insights and solutions, and really building your brand as a reliable authority in your industry. Building yourself as that authority is super important. You know, you want to be known as the go-to in your field, area, service or product, to get to the point where, you know, if someone thinks of what you do, they think of you. You're that kind of authority figure. You're that trusted, reliable brand that they will go to. They'll tell their friends about, their clients about, and they'll go back to. And it's that kind of not only attracting them, but then retaining them and that repeat business, which is crucial. How we can leverage social media. So utilize social platforms to engage with potential and existing clients, sharing that relevant content to respond to inquiries, actively participate in conversations related to your industry. So it's not always just about you putting content out there, but how can you join in the conversation? Again, you know, is there things going on in your industry where you can join that conversation and again, position yourself as that authority presence in the conversation, and really get your kind of knowledge and expertise across. This one's always really important, and people tend, you know, forget to do this. So it's, you know, how you can bring in the testimonials and case studies. So sometimes it's not just a testimonial as in, you know, John and the team did a great job, we love them, which those are always great to receive and, you know, always good to have. But how can you put really powerful case studies together where you can show that, you know, what the client's pain point was and how you delivered a proposition and a solution for them, and then what the outcome of that was. So, you know, what did that achieve for the customer? Did that then result in them getting extra clients or sales? Did then that result in them, you know, achieving commercial growth? What, you know, what were they trying to achieve? And then how did you help them solve that? The social proof is really powerful in attracting new clients. You know, people sometimes need to see things and that you've done to then be able to see it in themselves and think, oh, that's us, or we need that. So it isn't always just a, you know, 5 stars, they are great, which I said, that's good to have. But think of how we can use it in a lot more powerful and engaging way. And then we can use those as lead magnets, sales tools then to, you know, email to prospective clients, send out to people, have on our website. We can repurpose that as social content, LinkedIn posts. So there's lots of different ways that we can repurpose it to really show the expertise and authority in the brand. Offering exceptional customer service is key. For me, this should be just a given in all businesses, but I'm sure we can probably all list off 3 or 4 people, you know, businesses off the top of our head and brands that don't do this. So it's really important to kind of prioritize that customer service and go above and beyond to meet the clients' and customers' needs. As it says there, they're more likely to refer you to others, and they're kind of your brand ambassadors and brand champions. So that's what we're really, you know, we're wanting to achieve. It's almost like we want our customers to be another mini sales force for us. So how do we do that? Like I said earlier, it's not always about the chase. It's not always about kind of getting the new ones in. It's also about delivering and doing exceptional work for the people that we have, and going above and beyond. Personalizing the client experience is a really good one as well. So, you know, how we can tailor your interactions based on their preferences and past interactions. It can really quickly help you strengthen the relationship and show that you value them as individuals. So we've got some clients that love chatting to us on WhatsApp, some that love a good chat over the phone, some that want you to go in and meet them face to face. The more that you can kind of be flexible for them, and tailor those interactions. And again, that can be if you've got a product as well. So, you know, it's tailoring that. So how are you presenting that on TikTok? How is that coming across on Instagram? You can see, if you're looking at the data, how people are engaging with you on the different platforms, on your e-commerce site. do we do a follow-up with an email campaign? So just personalizing the client experience as much as possible for people, again, makes them feel really seen. And then again, it really fosters that brand loyalty. And using emotional branding, so really want to evoke feelings and emotion through the messages. It plays such a key role in decision making and brand loyalty. When we speak to clients about kind of emotion and emotional branding, some can kind of think, no, that's rubbish, Laura. But I always do an exercise where we say, right, just think of a brand on the top of your head. I'll say a word, I'll say Apple, what do you instantly feel? Or we'll say Airbnb, what do you instantly feel? And if you, even try it with your clients or people and ask them about your brand and say, okay, Studio LWD, what do you think? And hopefully, if you're doing it right, there should always be that really positive emotional response, and that's really what we want to foster and develop, and then we can use that to grow and develop further. Monitoring brand perception is really important as well. This again ties into the kind of emotional connection. So we want to be regularly monitoring social media mentions, reviews, customer feedback, engaging how your brand is perceived. Obviously, sometimes we can get negative feedback. So how are we addressing that? And just making sure that it's always perceived in the most positive way. And if things do go wrong, how are you reacting to that? And how are you owning that? Continuous brand evaluation and development is really, really important. So we work with a lot of clients and they'll be like, yeah, I've got some guidelines. They were done 6 years ago. They've been sat on a server, and that's kind of it. And really, you're not going to get that return on investment on really investing in your brand, having an agency work on it by just creating the brand guidelines, and they just kind of, sit on a shelf and gathering dust. So it's about regularly reviewing and assessing the effectiveness of your brand strategies, what is working well, again, gathering that data to drive those decisions, being really adaptable. In today's market, businesses have to be really agile. There's lots of extenuating factors coming in with everything going on, pandemics, Brexit, all of that. There's the markets. There's also, the rise of new platforms, the massive growth of TikTok over the last few years, what's going to be the next thing that's coming in. So you really need to be adaptable and agile, and consistently refining your brand messaging as your business and market evolves. And that's when it's really good to be working with an agency, because you can have them check-in points, you can have them quarterly or 6-month reviews to go, right, where are we at? What else do we need to do? Do we now need to start looking at an email campaign? Do we now need to start doing good old-fashioned direct mail? What is it that we can continuously do to evolve, evaluate the brand, and then improve the brand? And again, that's going to help you consistently attract those new clients and also retain the current ones that you have. So as it says there, you can implement these strategies, you can create a compelling brand that's not going to only attract new clients, but also fosters long-term relationships. And that is where through the retention and attraction, that's where obviously the business is going to grow. And that's where, where we want to be. Everyone wants to see the business grow. Either that's through revenue, headcount, new products, services, but, everyone's in business, they want to see that grow and develop and flourish. So the strong brand is a really powerful asset for this. So it is, again, as we said, it's through differentiation, trust building, emotional connections, and exceptional experiences. It plays a really vital role in client acquisition and loyalty. If you've ever received a proposal or, something from a potential client or customer that you are wanting to work with or engage with, and it comes across and it looks messy, it's disjointed, it's not presented in a great way. It's just the same as if someone turns up, it came to meet you for an interview and they look scruffy, they've not put the effort in. So that's why having that really polished, strong brand just instantly gives people that feeling of value and trust. So investing in your brand and aligning it with your business strategy, is super important. It's not all about just creating something that visually looks good. It's something that is aligned with your commercial goals. Where do you want to be in 5 years, 10 years? What's the plan of the business? You know, if there's directors involved, what do the directors want to see the shape of the business be? And then working backwards to then have the brand deliver that for you to attract and retain clients effectively. So just whiz through that. I appreciate it probably went a bit faster. Sorry, first time of doing one of these. I'll maybe slow down a bit next time. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining. If there's any questions, I'll just go through the comments now. Yeah, Andy, you are right. 100% using data to drive any decision. That's something that I completely believe in and bang on about a lot. I think, you know, you can't just, it's not just a case of let's just pick some pretty colours and make something look good from a brand point of view. It is about making sure all these elements come together and tie together. I'm just seeing if there's any other things on the comments. Yeah, Jonathan, you're right. Yeah, huge in lead gen is branding. Yeah, it's all about kind of that brand positioning, and it keeps competitors away. Yeah, that's really key. It's about positioning you as like top of the table, the go-to obvious choice. Hi, Liam. Yeah, we can sort that out, and I can sort out Peter getting a recording sent as well. Hi, Karen, nice to see you. How AI might change, any thoughts on how AI might change things? Yeah, this is something that comes up quite a lot, isn't it? I saw a really interesting, I don't know if you'd call it a meme or a post on Instagram, and it said, you know, as soon as clients can maybe start to write a really clear brief, then that's where we'd have to start to worry about AI. And I think we've dabbled with AI and how that works, but you've got to understand how to put the correct prompts in, how to use the tools in the correct manner. And I might be a bit of a dinosaur, but I still don't think there's anything better than actual people sat around a table, working out a clear brand strategy, working out clear marketing strategies, all coming together. That's not just us as an agency, it's collaboration with the client. What does the sales team need? What does the marketing team need? What does the receptionist need? And I'm not sure how AI can replicate that, but who knows what the future holds. I might be eating those words in a few years, but yeah, I think there's a place where the two can work together, and it can be something that can benefit and help you in your business, as opposed to something that we need to be afraid of taking business away from us, if that makes sense. Just checking if there's any more questions. I think that's everyone. Well, thank you thank you, Karen. Yeah, I agree too. Well, thank you so much for joining today. Oh, sorry, Liam, you've got a question there. When realigning the brand, how would you go about it? When building the brand strategy, what would you focus on? That's a really good question, Liam. So when we work on a kind of realignment of a brand, we always do it in a 3-stage approach. So obviously brand strategy is first, and the first part of that brand strategy for us is always research. I always say I feel like we make something that branding and that seems to be exciting. I always feel like we make it really unsexy sometimes, because it's all about research, all about data gathering, all about competitor analysis and a brand audit. And then, as I've kind of mentioned quite a few times in this talk, is the target audience. So it's looking at where you're at, where your competitors are at, looking who the audience is, and then seeing how we marry that up, so knowing what the audience want and need, and how do we deliver that through our product or service. Then looking at your vision, your mission, your values, what's your brand essence, what's your brand manifesto, bringing that all together in a full strategy document then is always the first go-to for us. We do that way before we even start looking at anything visually. It always has to come from the strategy as the foundation for us. I hope that answered that, Liam. If there's anyone has any other questions, please feel free to get in touch with me. You can either connect with me on LinkedIn, send me a DM. Always happy to chat. Branding is something that we are super, super passionate about. I could probably talk about it all day long and bore you all to tears. But yeah, always up for having a kind of a coffee or a Zoom with anyone. So please feel free to reach out and drop me a DM. If you've got any more questions on kind of the importance of brand, how to leverage your brand, you know, tips and tricks that you can do to leverage your brand to attract customers, lead generation, things like that. And yeah, a few people have asked for the recording, so I'll figure out how to get that done and get that sent out as well. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely afternoon in the sunshine. Speak to you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.